You've been rolling around, should've roll it up. Let her roll it up. Break it down like a punch, she would never us. She would never us. That's the real on the real, are you serious? How you feel, how you feel? Used to trip off that shit I was kicking to you. Had some fun on the round, I'll give it to you. But baby,
What is something that doesn't sit right with you?
As of August 2021, 4 officers that were at the U.S. Capitol attack on January 6th have committed suicide.
What is something that doesn't sit right with you?
So when I was a kid, the R. Kelly sex tape allegedly got leaked of him and an underage girl. Now this sparked a lot of outrage for a lot of R. Kelly fans. A lot of people just did not want to believe it. Some people was like, that don't even look like him. Other people was like, the video isn't even clear enough. At one point, the video was even one of the most downloaded videos off the internet. People would even lend out their copy of the videotape just to share it with somebody else so they could debate if it was R. Kelly or not. Keep in mind, I was a kid watching all these adults having this debate. Then when I got older, I realized that even if it was or wasn't R. Kelly in that video, that was still a minor in that video. Like grown-ass adults was really out here buying, sharing, and downloading that video just to prove this man innocence. Y'all was just out here casually watching CP, bro. Y'all was out here watching CP, bro. You're nasty. And then y'all try to act like all shocked and shit when Surviving R. Kelly came out. Y'all not low. Y'all not low.
What is something that doesn't sit right with you?
Traditionally, female spaces being dominated by men as soon as they become profitable. I know I'm not advocating for separate spheres. Do what you want. If you're a man, you want to be a chef. You're a woman, you want to be a chef. Do what you want. But it's the fact that women have been constrained to the kitchen. We've all heard the misogynistic joke. Get back to the kitchen. Women's places in the kitchen, right? And that's been how it is for years. And I'm not advocating for that. But as soon as that industry became profitable, say chefs, restaurateuring, women are just gone from it. Like, the majority of chefs are male in the UK, as far as I know. I'm not sure about elsewhere. And that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, why have women been pushed out of the space that they've traditionally been forced into as soon as it become profitable? If there's a reason for it, and women just don't want to be chefs, which I don't believe, do let me know.
What is something that doesn't sit right with you, Ocean Edition?
Okay, so I know the ocean is full of like underwater mysteries and just things that don't make sense, but somebody explain this. An underwater waterfall. Doesn't make any sense.
What is something that doesn't sit right with you? Devil's Tower be looking an awful lot like a giant petrified tree stump. Something that doesn't sit right with you.
Aaliyah's death will never sit right with me. Not for any conspiracy theory reasons, but just because it could have easily been prevented. I think that they said the plane was overweight about 700 or 800 pounds. That is a lot. That's a lot. And I didn't know in this particular plane, like the cargo is put in like the nose of the plane. So that was like really interesting to me. And then the pilot had like logged flight hours that he really had never flown. And then he also had traces of cocaine and alcohol in his system. Also, the initial plane that Aaliyah had taken in was small, but it was much bigger than the one that she, ended up dying in. I will never forget seeing it on MTV News. And I was like, no, like Aaliyah was just on 106 in Park. Like, what is going on? It made me so sad. And I know that technically the 90s ended on January 1st, 2000, but I honestly feel like the 90s like ended when Aaliyah passed, and then September 11th happened like right after.
It is still beyond me how this just popped up in my head, because I watched a movie the other night. It's on HBO Max called The Bay. The movie's based on true events, but it's about 80% true throughout the movie, you know how movies do. But the storyline's crazy. Basically, there was a small town in America that had a lot of chicken farms, and they were located by the bay. Well, there were rumors going around that they were dumping chicken poop in the water. The same water that they filter to use for all their water sources. And a lot of people were very, very against it. But the people who were allowing it to be dumped were trying to say that the water is filtered out and it's fine to drink. On top of that, there were birds and fish that were dying. And the bay was a 40% dead zone. The town held a festival, and it was like a crab festival. So there were a lot of water games, there were a lot of crab eating, and all of a sudden people started to break out in rashes and really bad lesions that were hurting people from the bone. Then people's skin looked like it was being ate from the inside out. Now there's only one thing that causes that, and that's parasites. And the biographers actually found dead fish, and they had the same parasites in them. And they were eating the fish from the inside out. These parasites were isopods. Because of this chicken manure being thrown in the ocean, these isopods infested the bay. Isopods are 300 million years old. They actually infested the bay faster than they should have and produced faster because of the steroids that were in the manure. They were basically mutated to actually go into the human body and grow and eat. In the movie, the biographers were found dead because they were eaten alive by these. But like I said, the movie's like 80% true, but you can research this. Crazy things happen all the time.
What is something that doesn't sit right with you?
How many of you guys know this song? Or what about this song? How many of you guys know who sings those songs? If you guessed Black Box or CNC Music Factory, you're half right. The singer's name is Martha Wash. See, in the late 80s and early 90s, she worked with both CNC Music Factory and Black Box, just laying down vocals for demo tracks, which would later be used for their singles and for their albums. But the problem is she was never credited for any of her contributions, nor did she ever perform with the group publicly or appear in any of the music videos. They had models stand in for her, and she ended up suing RCA Records and Sony Records for fraudulent packaging and commercial appropriation, which is what I believe led to her being blackballed by the industry, so much so that BET at their Black Girls Rock Awards show a couple years ago made a tribute to black women in house music and didn't include her.
What is something that doesn't sit right with you?
In the early 2000s, there was a pop singer named Hoku. She's best known for two singles, Perfect Day and Another Dumb Blonde. Both of those songs are from soundtracks of early 2000s movies, Legally Blonde and Snow Day. Why the fuck is the song about blondes on the soundtrack to the movie about a great day, but a song about perfect days is on the soundtrack for the movie about blondes?
What is something that really doesn't sit with you?
That people fight for the unborn child, but not the child that's in foster care, not the children in cages, not the child that's homeless, not the child that's hungry, and not the child that is a sex slave.
This bitch gonna make me.